The live television studio of this morning is no stranger to unexpected moments, but even seasoned presenter Ben Shephard found himself caught off guard one Tuesday morning when a segment took a dramatically unscripted turn, and the nation watched every second of it. It had started as one of those feel-good segments that This Morning does so well. A retired PE teacher named Gerald Whitmore, 67, had been invited onto the sofa to talk about his remarkable journey back to fitness after a hip replacement. Cheerful, silver-haired, and bursting with energy, Gerald had charmed both Ben and his co-host within minutes of sitting down. The studio audience adored him instantly. The trouble began when the producers, keen to add a visual element to Gerald's story, arranged for a short demonstration in the studio. A small raised platform had been set up, along with a foam exercise mat, and Gerald was asked to show viewers one of the low-impact routines his physiotherapist had recommended. Simple enough, or so everyone thought. Gerald stepped onto the platform with all the confidence of a man who had once refereed school athletics days in the pouring rain without flinching. He raised one leg, extended his arms, and began describing the balance exercise to the camera. Ben watched with an encouraging smile, nodding along as Gerald explained the benefits of single-leg standing for older adults. Then, without warning, Gerald's sock, smooth on the bottom and entirely unsuited to a polished studio floor, betrayed him completely. His foot slid sideways, his arms windmilled, the foam mat skidded, and Gerald Whitmore, retired PE teacher and hip replacement success story, went down with a resounding thud that the studio microphones picked up in perfect, unforgiving clarity. There was a half-second of stunned silence. Then Gerald, flat on his back and staring up at the studio lights, said something that was absolutely, unmistakably not suitable for a mid-morning family audience. The word rang out across the studio. Several members of the audience gasped. One woman in the front row covered her mouth. A floor manager somewhere off camera made a sound that might have been a strangled laugh. Ben Shephard was on his feet in an instant, crossing the studio in 3 quick strides to crouch beside Gerald, one hand on his arm. "Gerald, are you all right? Don't move, take a breath." His voice was calm and warm, every bit the professional. But Ben also knew exactly what had just happened. The cameras were still rolling. Britain was still watching. He straightened up, looked directly into the lens, and with the composed, slightly rueful smile of a man who has seen it all, said clearly, "We do apologize for that, Gerald. I think we can all completely understand why." The studio erupted. The audience, who had been holding their collective breath, dissolved into relieved laughter. Even Gerald, now sitting up with the help of a producer, began to chuckle, rubbing the back of his head with an expression of pure mortification. Medical staff on standby gave Gerald a quick once-over. Miraculously, and perhaps fittingly, given the whole segment had been about recovery, nothing was injured beyond his dignity. He returned to the sofa minutes later, walking carefully and waving away the fuss with a dismissive hand. In 40 years of PE teaching, he told Ben with a grin, "I always told the kids to mind the floor." Ben shook his head, laughing. And did they listen? Gerald paused. Never once. The clip, needless to say, went viral by lunchtime.